Oh. Come on, bring people back to life. It's a resurrection party. Okay. If we can get Jessica with Zing, we'll be in good shape. Oh, of course. Actually, that may be good. If he gets his attack out of the way before we resurrect Jessica, we've got a pretty good chance of healing her. Because if we get her with Zing, is it gonna work? Yes! Yeah, because, like, she'll be at half-life, so... Oh, come on, Omni heal. Alright. We just gotta stay alive and keep doing damage. If we stay alive and keep doing damage, bam. See, I don't know, now the more that I think about it, the more I'm kind of curious about, you know, what, like... Oh, jeez, Jessica, really? Like, now I'm kind of curious, like, what kind of things, like, kind of references, in history really stick in kids' minds today. Because, like, I don't know, Casey Jones maybe a little for me, but, like, you know, like, when I was young, I, like, any kind of weirdness. I remember reading a book on the Donner Party and stuff, like, a really dry kind of historical, like, a book about it, too, and being very not impressed. Like... Because, like, everybody knows, like, ooh, cannibalism, but, like, when you read the whole story, like, you have to be able to get into a story about a wagon train trip out west. And it's not great. Far better for kind of, there's a book that's all devoted to deaths in the Grand Canyon, and the historical stuff in that is pretty great. But, yeah, I mean, you know, and, like, those are the kind of things, like, as a kid, like, I mean, obviously there was stuff going on at the time, like, very kind of references. I mean, when I was a young kid, you have to realize that, like, my world was, like, a world of the 80s. Oh, jeez, not Angelo. Come on. I'm trying to talk about the 80s here. So, you know, like, I mean, my world was filled with kind of Cold War, Reagan, like first Gulf War kind of stuff. It's just very like so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, those kind of things like you know, in a way, the world seems so much bigger now, and you know, I mean, in a way, your horizons kind of, as you get older, kind of broaden in a way that you wouldn't expect. That, like, the things you're exposed to in elementary school are very quaint and very kind of non-offensive, like things like, you know, Johnny Appleseed and stuff like that. But then, you know, when you become an adult, you can become interested in things like the Russian Revolution, or the French Revolution, or World War II. You know, because nobody's going to teach a 5th grade class about the Holocaust. You know, although maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe you are aware in 5th grade that, but, like, nobody's talking about kind of the crazy stuff that was done by, like, Dr. Mengele and stuff like that, you know, and you can, or things like, you know, the death of Rasputin and, like, the murder of, like, the Tsar's family in Russia, or any of that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff is all kind of fascinating in its own right, but part of kind of a broader scale of kind of possible knowledge in the world than, like, the kind of whitewashed, not offensive stuff that they're okay with shooting at you in elementary school. Ugh. All right, come on, Munchie. All right, we got one. Oh, we got Angela. That's all we need. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Jessica. It was no surprise we didn't get all of them, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking about. Is like I don't know exactly like, you know, I don't exactly know what the curriculum is for kind of, you know, because when I was in elementary school, I remember being really weirded out by the fact that like when we did history and stuff, we didn't talk about like even kind of more recent things. But now, even if that's the case, you could still talk about like all the way up through like the Clinton presidency, and it wouldn't be recent, you know. But like, I remember in elementary school thinking, why don't we talk about Reagan's second term? You know, because like now we're in the Bush presidency, the first Bush, not the other Bush. Yeah. And like I said, you know, they don't tell you a lot of stuff. I mean, schools in general, like public schools in general, your public school education, you know, skips over huge amounts of stuff. Like, you can go through an entire public school education without ever learning kind of anything about Africa or South America. Like, or Australia, for that matter, aside from the fact that they exist. You know, and the same thing can be said for, you know, I guess any kind of education. You really have to, you know, to be a person in this world who's happy with their intellect, I think you really have to take it upon yourself to educate yourself. Because the schools aren't going to do it for you. Television certainly isn't going to do it for you. The internet is actually a pretty good resource for that, because you can just type in anything you want to know about. With certain exceptions. There are some things that you'll never find out really good information about. But mainly that would be because it's just something Americans don't care about in general. Or like people who speak English don't care about. And like, that's a little rough. You know, but even then, if you know, like, if you find good resources to find, like, academic papers, you can find good academic papers about almost anything. So, at least that's my college experience talking. When I ranting and raving, fighting this monster, like, ranting and raving about, like, Johnny Appleseed and, like, having to educate yourself. Like, why isn't this dragon dead yet? Oh, there we go. Jeez. Apparently, I just had to demand it. I should demand stuff like that more often. Oh, jeez, what a nightmare. Alright, we got
well done.
Our last thing.
You fought with the valor I would expect of the warriors who saved the Dragovian race. You deserve a reward for your efforts. Few are left.
One is left.
But choose whichever you desire.
There's only one left.
Very well. You shall have it.
It wasn't a choice. Few are left, and by few I mean one.
Proceed straight ahead from the cursed castle to a beautiful natural spring. On its banks you will find a monster.
That's true.
Defeat it. I am sure you will find it a worthy addition to your team.
Not so much.
You have completed the final Dragovian trial. You fought well, courageous warriors. I acknowledge your quality and valor. You are truly worthy of the title Hero.
We already knew that.
You stand alone. None can hope to challenge your abilities. Not even the Lord of Darkness, Rapthorn himself.
Oh, you mean that guy we've beaten twice?
Perhaps the time has come for you to return to the world of humans and fulfill your destinies.
Not yet.
Very well. I shall transport you back to the sanctuary.
Now, why am I not giving you the end of the LP speech? Because there's more to do. So much more to do. And I'll see you guys for that. So, bye everybody.